Welcome to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the January 16th, 2018 edition of AstroEnergy Astrology. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. It's really good to be here with you and talk to you and share astrology and my love of astrology with you. So here we are in Orlando. I am an astrologer there. So every week I kind of give you the update on the actual outdoor weather. And it is flipping cold today. I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at the temperature right now. It's 54 degrees. And man, that's cold for me. So it's going to go 69 all the way up to 69 today. So hopefully you are staying warm where you are. I'm looking at the temperatures around the country. It's 51 in Phoenix. It's -5 in Rapid City, South Dakota. So hi, cousins. Hi, Terry and Rhonda. It's cold. And they really like Florida. My Uncle Terry wants to come down and live here, but I don't know if he's going to get to in his lifetime because all his grandkids are up in South Dakota. Denver, 6 degrees. Fort Worth, 20 degrees. Kapalua, Hawaii, 65. It's not much warmer there. LA, 57. Seattle, 49. And Paris, 49 degrees. That's Fahrenheit, of course. So we've got a little bit of a cold blast. And are we surprised? Not at all. I'm not at all surprised because, you want to know what makes that? Capricorn. Planets going through this part of the sky always make it chilly, just like that. So we've got a bit of a cold blast, and I know I've mentioned that before, how it can really chill out when planets go in Capricorn. And of course, Saturn, newly in Capricorn, is going to do that. But Saturn's not the only planet in Capricorn today. You want to know what else is in Capricorn? I'll tell you, because I'm an astrologer. That's what I do. It is Saturn at 3 degrees, Mercury at 7 degrees, Pluto at 19 degrees, Moon at 21 degrees, approaching the Sun and creating a new moon at 26 degrees, and Venus at 28. That is, count them, six planets and lights in Capricorn. There are only 10 major planets and lights that we follow, and more than half are in Capricorn today. That's amazing. And it is called a stellium. So basically a cluster. And they are all moving into a square to Uranus at 24. So we've got Venus squaring Uranus, Sun squaring Uranus, Moon squaring Uranus, and Pluto squaring Uranus. In about 2 weeks, we'll have Mercury squaring Uranus. And it's going to be amazing. So what we've got is a tremendous amount of power approaching us around structures and tradition and the elderly and everything that Capricorn stands for, hierarchy. So even though I say it's hierarchy, Pluto wants to shift things. Pluto wants that all to be different because Pluto is showing Capricorn what it fears. And that means that, well, I'll just tell you, Capricorn tends to be more controlling. And so wherever you have Capricorn in your chart is where you may have fears that you express through the energy control. So Capricorn is very aware of process and organization. And so wherever we see that in our charts, we will want to restrict things and understand them. We want to organize them and label them. I had this guy that I work with occasionally, and I ask him, like, oh, what do you do? Or where are you from? Or things like that, just, getting to know you kind of stuff. And a couple times he said, oh, I don't use labels. And I'm just thinking, well, how do you tell people who you are? How do you communicate? Because that's what we do. We label things. And you can say you don't use labels, but you use them all day long, every day. Anytime you describe something, it's a label. And that's practically impossible to not use labels. So that's what we're doing now. Right now we're using labels. I am an artist. I am an astrologer. This is my name. This is where I live. Those are the common labels used for it, and that's what Capricorn does. It says, hey, this is a lot. You might think, hey, she's pretty wired up. Yeah, I had some chai tea, and I listened to Karanesh. If you are not familiar with it, Karanesh is a really, really awesome instrumental kind of new agey band, or yeah, I guess our band. I haven't really researched it, but they have amazing music. And I just listened to one called Dreamcatcher. Or no, that was Cusco. Excuse me, Cusco. Dreamcatcher. Awesome song. Got me really wired up before the show because now I'm in a really good mood, which is to your benefit. Okay, so anyway, Capricorn. So as I've said in other shows, this really is the time to make those plans, to make your goals for 2018, because what happens now, you've got the backing of 60% of the zodiac behind you in energy, with the moon, the sun, Venus, Mercury, Pluto, and Saturn all saying, yeah, sounds good to me. Let's do that. This is how we're going to do that. The only fly in the ointment is Uranus down at 24 degrees in Aries going, but I don't want to have a plan. I don't want to organize things. I just want to do it. Can we just do it? I've got these amazing ideas. This is what we need to do it. And so even though Uranus is squaring all that Capricorn, guess what? In astrology, when planets square each other, they ruffle each other's feathers, but ultimately they are learning how to work with each other's energy. And so power in Aries is about the drive, is about doing it. Power of Uranus is about looking at situations from different angles that you might have not looked at before. And so Uranus is really being very inventive and wanting to take action on those ideas. What all the Capricorn is doing for him, though he feels very frustrated at having to back up and do the details. Whoops. Guess there won't be more caffeine. I just fell off my little... I'm sorry. I fell off my rocker. I'm on a rocking hassock for my glider rocker. I just... you all are laughing at me as well, because that was pretty funny. Anyway, I got that, funnily enough, got that time-lapse video from my YouTube channel. That's pretty funny. Okay, anyway, sorry about that. Sorry about the disruption. I was just rocking here on this hassock. I guess I got too displaced with my weight. Okay, so anyway, Uranus is really wanting to do that independent business, market, do all that fun stuff. And Capricorn saying, yeah, slow down there, bucko. I want you to go and get the paperwork with the government. I want you to set up your website. I want you to get the people that you need to help you. I want you to get family on board. That's the moon. Your spouse, get your spouse on board. It's Venus. Get women on board. Sun, Venus, and moon all together. And so now we're going to really find out what we're doing, mind our P's and Q's. And even though Uranus is very frustrated, by May, he's going to be extremely happy that he went through this, because then he goes into Taurus, and Taurus is going to bring about so much opportunity and new optimistic infusion of energy. Uranus, again, is the ruler of Aquarius, and Aquarius is highly intelligent and highly connected to spirit, so much so that Aquarian energy channels higher understanding and knowledge and channels information from the collective. So when we see Uranus in the signs, he brings that awareness, he brings that alternative thinking, brings in the unusual, the scientific, the technological. He brings in truth. He brings in light and I know he's not specifically one of the lights like sun or moon, but his energy is very crisp and aware. And that's kind of how I interpret it, is through feelings, because, I've got a lot of that energy in my chart. But he'll make us a lot more conscientious, and he will bring in that awareness of alternative ways of doing things okay, so are you ready? So write this down with a pencil. In technology, because obviously you're moving from Aries into Taurus, so that changes how we view technology from active go and let's just get it out there to now we're going to slow it down and figure out ways that it can actually integrate into the material world, which is the Taurus energy. And the Taurus energy rules beauty, makeup, fashion, earth, growing things, probably more in alignment with a Ceres, C-E-R-E-S energy, because it's about growing from the earth or the breadbasket kind of mentality. It's about beauty and aesthetics and art, music, relationships in the tangible form. So it's creating those relationships. It's alternative relationships. The people born in the early to mid 60s, specifically 65, which is when Uranus and Pluto joined up, are going to really feel an awakening as a collective, because that generation of people on Earth are having Uranus in Taurus in trine to that Pluto-Uranus conjunction of 1965. And I believe it was either March or October. I don't remember specifically which one it was, but I can look it up. Not that it matters that much, but I'm just, that's what I do with astrology. I have a question and I go look it up. So let's just throw that up there real quick. The other things going on in the chart right now, it's interesting, my program doesn't have any aspects to Neptune, while Neptune is in sextile to Mercury today. So that means that we are thinking about elderly. We are thinking about past relationships. We may be sentimental over grandparents and those who have passed, but we are in communication with both the people that we have had relationships with and our elderly ancestors generationally, or even just people. People who are older are definitely, and either older, mature, or wise, or bosses, because all this energy is set up for hierarchy, and that energy is around mastership. So it is the boss energy. So we're really feeling this cooperation between emotions and what we want to do in that capacity, like connect to the elderly, issues of the elderly, taxes. I know the 8th house and Pluto is always the house of taxes, but to me, Capricorn definitely rules taxes and insurance also. I think I see them more in my mind as a co-rulership, and you may not have heard what I just said there, co-rulership, which means that by house and by assignment, Scorpio rules insurance, taxes, legacy. But Capricorn, to me, has always been the sign of that type of governmental structure and restriction. And so I assign Capricorn also co-rulership of insurance and taxes, because they're the ones minding P's and Q's and saying, and structurally, organizationally, systematically, that's what it is. It's that same energy of Saturn and structure. So today, because obviously we're 2 weeks into the new year, everyone's starting to think about taxes. Jupiter and Mars are still fairly close in orbit, so they're still triggering a conjunction, in my opinion, even though Mars is moving away from Jupiter. They are 4 degrees apart, so they're still kind of in tandem in the zodiac, in the sky. And Scorpio rules the government, and again, government, taxes, legacy, and insurance. So we are seeing a cooperation of that right now, even though Uranus in Aries is throwing that wrench into the system, theoretically, because he's going, no. We don't want to deal with that. We don't want to see it. We don't want to think about it. And we're all we've got this new system coming in. I was just listening to it, to information about it on the radio this morning on the news. So that's in the forethought of our minds right now. But if you're going to do something about it, other than that little pesky Uranus, we've got Neptune and Mars and Jupiter in cooperation with it. They're saying, okay, yeah, we can do this. So Uranus in Aries, he's at N degrees. That means that even though, so the reading of an N degree of a sign is the culmination of that sign, the energy of it is wrapping it up. But it can also mean that if he doesn't connect to other planets before he changes signs, then what happens is a fait accompli. It is a done deal. You're not going to revisit it. That's the case with this energy right now because he's at 24. He's squaring Venus at 28, Sun at 26, and the Moon is going to be square today. So he, as time goes on, he's still there for another 4 months. Plenty of opportunity for other aspects with Uranus. So we'll be seeing him still interacting with other planets before he moves. So currently we are having some difficulty. Uranus means the unexpected. So where's Mars? Mars is in conjunct to him as well. Mars is 1 degree off an exacting conjunct, which is 150 degrees. So conjunct today specifically, don't do your taxes, because that means that he's going to say, oh, you thought you knew what was going on, but you didn't know what was going on. I'm going to throw this wrench in, because Mars is how we take action. Mars in Scorpio, how we take action around taxes, and in odds, in an uncomfortable position to Uranus, things aren't going to go the way you thought. So I wouldn't do it today. And you say, well, when would you do it? Actually, if you can do it after Mars gets into, possibly Sagittarius. You know what? Maybe I should do a show about it, because I think you're going to be prepping your taxes or thinking about it. I know I have to do retail taxes this week, so I'll be doing that. I don't particularly want to do it with Mars. So what you can do is you can actually place Mars and Uranus in houses that might not directly affect the taxes. So in other words, you elect to have your taxes sent off at a time Mars is, say, in the home sector or the friend sector, or an area where it isn't directly related to the money house or the financial house, which the second or the eighth house avoid those houses. Like I'm looking at the chart currently as we speak, which I did for 10:44 a.m. And Uranus is in the first house of self, but Mars is in the eighth of taxes. So this is not the moment I would send off my taxes for my retail business. So you want to directly position those in an area of the chart, or how you do that is by just waiting it out. You say, oh, well, this is a bad time of day because it's an Aries rising right now. It's probably like, I'll just hit now again. It is 1 degree according to my chart. It's a 1 degree Aries rising, so literally brand new zodiac right now. And so you would just wait in the day. It'll be a Taurus rising, and that'll be money, and that will put Jupiter and Mars down in the marriage and partnership house. It brings it out of the taxes house, so it's not as directly affecting you with that. Doesn't mean it won't in some capacity, but honestly, if I had to file my taxes, I would just move it out of the house of taxes. Anyway, that's only if you have to. Of course, I'm an astrologer, so I always plan my taxes to go at a time when it's beneficial. So anyway, enough of that. Tax talk. See, Capricorn, you got me, don't you? You're sitting there. You got me monologuing about taxes. Everyone's favorite, right? Anyway, let me see what else we have here. So, yeah, we've got a new moon. What is a new moon? New moon means the moon is right next to the sun. It is completely overtaken by the sun, and the sun has a cooperation with the moon. So the sun is male energy, ego energy, and the moon is intuitive, can be seen as spiritual energy, emotion and visceral feeling energy, and they come together to talk once a month. And they're talking about feelings, and they're talking probably not as much about feelings, but more about career and home. And so those two issues are going to be pretty strong for you. Today, it's interesting, I have someone who's waiting to hear about a job, and I'm guessing that I'll probably hear from that situation today also, because the moon and sun are together, and it's new, which means new plantings, new information, new ventures, new structures and systems, and great. So the moon is now within 5 degrees of the last waning energy, meaning becoming a sliver into not being seen at all, and on his way back up to waxing on the other side, meaning increasing in size for the next 2 weeks, and he'll get into, I'm guessing, Leo. I haven't looked, but there's a rhythm to it, and so when you see a new moon Capricorn, he's either going to be full in Cancer or full in the next sign as he works his way through the zodiac. So let's just see where he's full. If I can find it quickly, I don't know if I can find it quickly. Where are you? There it is. Full moon in Leo. I was right. And it's a lunar eclipse. So we're going to have that eclipse the 31st. And it is at 11 degrees and 37 minutes. And that falls, I'm just looking for it, at 8:27 a.m. on the 31st. And this new moon, if you're looking and wanting to do a ceremony, falls tonight at, well, it's straddling 2 days, of course. So, I take it back. That's the conjunction with Venus. It actually is at 9:17 p.m. Eastern and 6:17 p.m. Pacific. And I believe that is 2 in the morning on the 17th for those of you in England. So, the 17th. So that means that you should be writing your to-do lists. If you really want those things to come out and become true, write your goals for the year. This is the day to do it because you have desire, you have sense of self, you have emotional boost, you have major life changes, and your thought process is all on board. And then you have Saturn racing through in the next 2.5 years. I guess that's not really racing, plodding through, hitting all those planets one at a time over the next 2.5 years of where they are today. He's going to be going to all those same degrees and really shifting our world. So definitely look for what happens when Saturn hits 19 degrees Capricorn, because that is a culmination of some of the energy that we've been feeling with this new moon. If you make your goals and everything, your lists, your to-do lists, you will feel it when he gets to that degree. It's going to be next year. I'm just, of course, rapidly attempting to look up that degree, Saturn hitting 19 degrees. Oh my gosh, numbers are flying at me everywhere. I know I'm being silly today, aren't I? So it's June of 2019. He'll actually hit 19, and that might even be the second time. Yeah, he's going to be, let me just see where Pluto is. 19 degrees and 18 minutes. So he will hit that on March 21st. Ooh, that's powerful. March 21st of 2019, which is the first day of spring. And so then you'll have this solar Aries energy. So you're going to have Sun move into the first house of today's chart. So literally, when Saturn hits the Pluto degree of today of your list by declination, by the degree Pluto is at, Saturn will hit that degree on the first day of spring next year, which will be a very powerful day, the culmination of what you're trying to achieve today with your list on this new moon. And then, just not too long after that, he'll be hitting the degree of the moon. And that is also another culmination point. The moon is a very strong indicator in a type of chart called an horary, Horary, which stands for of the hour. And so that means that every degree equals 1 year of time as you progress a chart. So like you're born on this day. If you want to know what your life is going to be like at 20 years old, you go 20 days after your birth and look at what the planets are doing on that day. And that will give you an influence on what is happening in your life on that year. So every day after your birth equals 1 year of your life. And I really love using that formula to kind of check out what's going on and, progress charts from different events to see what happens and when they might time out. And I think that's what I really love about astrology is the fact that you can use timing. And I just had a client this week tell me how amazing those readings are when it comes to events manifesting. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I found my little birthdays book again, and I'm going to read today's date out of that, and then I'm going to take readings after I take a quick break. But today's January 16th, so it's a sign of Capricorn, and people born today are Debbie Allen, Sade, Kate Moss, Marilyn Horn, I'm not sure who that is. Let's see if I can find some. Ronnie Millsap, Susan Sontag, Dizzy Dean, who is a baseball player, I believe, and Ethel Merman. Famous events were Prohibition begins. How surprising is that? Prohibition begins in 1920. Puritanical or restrictive thinking, Capricorn very much. First jazz concert at Carnegie Hall by Benny Goodman and band in 1938. Whitney Ford and Mickey Mantle elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1977. And the lucky number is 8. Your birthstone is garnet. Positive traits are your profession, dedicated, industrious. Negative traits, overworking, bossy, and demanding. Oh, you poor Capricorns, you just get it all the time, don't you? So what they say about you if you're born today is you are the consummate professional, applying yourself diligently until your projects are successfully completed. Your organizing ability is an asset, but don't let it blind you to the talents and contributions of those around you. Although perfection is your goal, learn to support those with whom you are involved, even when results are less than perfect. Avoid becoming obsessed with your work. Delicate, that's so funny. I keep listening to that song with my daughter. It's a Taylor Swift song. Anyway, dedicate plenty of time to your family and friends who, when you are not telling them what to do, sincerely enjoy invigorating company. Resist your tendency to boss your mate around and try not to approach every romantic rendezvous as a scene to be directed by you. Have plenty of high-energy snacks around to keep you going at your preferred speed, full tilt. So anyway, this book is The Hidden Meaning of Birthdays. I don't even see an author's name on the front of this. Nancy Arnott, A-R-N-O-T-T. So anyway, that's a little book I have. If I end up taking some readings, maybe I'll read your birthday quickly, just highlights to the people who call in today. If you want a reading today, the number is 347-994-3365. Be sure, if you are interested in getting a reading, to hit the 1 on the keypad so I know you're waiting for a reading, because we have a lot of people in the queue, but only people asking for a reading. So I'm pretty sure that there are more than just 2 who want a reading today, but if nobody else raises their hand, they'll get a really long reading. Anyway, let's take a quick break for 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. You are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show with me. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and you can get me for a private reading at astrologerangel.com. And also, if you want artwork, you can go to shelleyoverton.com. I've got artwork there. I've got so many ways doing different things. I could sit here and list them for the next 20 seconds, but boy, when I was on break, I looked up the date of the conjunction between Uranus and Pluto, and that was October 10th, 1965 at 17 degrees and 10 minutes. So 10:10:65 at 17:10. So that made me curious as to, hold on, just make sure. Yep. That made me curious as to when Pluto hit 17:10, which triggered that actual conjunction, and it was January 8th, between the 7th and 8th, and I'm guessing it's probably the 7th because all the 10s and 7s in that particular event. So between the 7th and 8th of January last year, 2017, is when Pluto actually trined that degree. So interestingly enough, it was within 2 weeks of Donald Trump taking office. So that was rather an interesting coincidence. And so definitely keep an eye out for even more of those triggers as we move into this year. 17:10 in Earth signs are going to be triggering. Now, let me see if we even get to that degree this year, see if it gets back to that. Nope, only gets to 18, so we don't actually get back into 17. Anyway, but definitely as Mercury and Saturn hit those points, you're going to feel that major shift again, because it's a reliving of that energy, which is still out there. I mean, it's still infused into our consciousness. So I just thought it was rather interesting. It's what I do. I just like to study this stuff. So anyway, let's take a phone call, shall we? 202. Hi, 202. How are you today?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing well.
Good.
How are you?
Oh, awesome. I'm doing wonderful. Who is this?
Oh, glad to hear it. I'm glad
Thank
to
you.
hear it. This is Kay, your favorite caller.
I know. You're back. Yay. Yay, Kay.
I'm back.
So, what can I do for you today?
Just give me the goods, I guess, and what you see. I'm always looking for, I feel a big transition coming, but I'm just kind of waiting for it to happen via, job, whether it's job, move, love, something. It's just, itching to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of all coming in here for you, because what you have, I'm going to just kind of get some highlights for people who listen so they kind of know what I'm looking at. You have a 15-degree Sagittarius rising with Neptune at 22 degrees in your first house. You have Uranus at 25 degrees Scorpio in your 12th, just over husband to your 12th. And today you have Mars on Uranus for you, so it's really waking you up to wanting to do something metaphysical or having your own path around that autonomous nature. Like, how to explain it? Uranus wants us to be autonomous. Scorpio wants you to be very into the woo-woo, the deep mystical part of life. And definitely in the 12th house, it's magical. It's what makes this whole thing tick. That's a major curiosity of yours. Having Scorpio energy is always about death and rebirth, and curiosity around the process of death and what's going on. Like, basically the energy of Toto wanting to look behind the curtain and find out who the wizard is. That's Scorpio. And you have that amazing awareness, and it's like you're not only intuitive, like in an emotional sense and deep feeling, but you're also keyed into the electrical energy as it comes through, and awareness on a mental level. So you combine those two. You're very powerful, very intuitive, and I would say you can channel energy. Do you channel at all? Do you do anything like that?
I don't. I kind of I don't know if I have a fear of it, or I like to be in control, as you can see probably with that Pluto moon.
Yeah, that Pluto moon conjunction is, well, it is a power point, it is a power placement, but it, in and of itself wouldn't necessarily mean that controlling, but falling in your house of career, the Capricorn house, yes, Yeah. It can be like, no, 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 no. Let me do this.
Yeah.
But in relationships, not necessarily. Hang on. Sorry. It expresses through balance and cooperation of other people, and that's where you want to focus it. That's where you tend to focus it. Now, you also have 3 planets in Virgo, which also contribute a great deal to wanting things to be a certain way and have your way. The Saturn in Virgo is, Virgo, I'm a Virgo. Virgo can be very meticulous and want to make sure things are all in order. But that's in the Sagittarius house, so you can express that out through children or playfulness or activities like travel, music, things like that. Having Jupiter and Mars hit your Uranus is going to be pretty significant this year. It's approaching, like Mars Day is on it. Jupiter won't quite get there until the end of the year. It'll be like October, and that will be a major shift for you around Halloween, interestingly, because you're going to really feel, you're going to really feel the connectedness to spirit and the thinning veil at that time of year coming up this year. But because you have all this tremendous amount of Capricorn in your first house, like you have 15 degrees of Sagittarius in your first house, plus you also have 22 of Capricorn. So that's a lot of energy and a shift around, going from that playfulness into that sincere, serious energy. So you have all but 2 planets in Capricorn in your first house right now, and that is about shifting who you are as a person. I would say it's probably even shifting your physique and how you look at your health and your physical well-being. Have you felt that?
Yeah, I literally had major surgery, and I'm still recovering. And yeah. It's about, really is, honestly, it's about, like, I'm just going to change. Not only do I change who I am on the inside, I'm going to change who I am on the outside, and it's a big concern for the next probably 4 years even. Well, not completely, but the thing is, Pluto in the first house, and it is in Capricorn, so it's the body. Then it goes into the second house, and it hits 22, and that rules the body and the physicality of things as well. So Capricorn in the first, that earth energy in the first is about the physical body, and then going into the second, that's the Taurus house, which is also material. So you've got quite a while left of that energy around body and health. Do you have issues that are ongoing, or this is just kind of a momentary thing? I would say this is momentary. It's fibroid, so it comes after a long time of, I'm 37 years old. They had grown to be huge, but, it's something that after a long time of doing whatever or treating your body whatever, it's like a collection.
Well, the beauty, that having this energy there is really changing how you look at it. And so as Saturn gets closer and closer to Pluto in the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to really shift in a healthier way, and it is the ownership of it. So you are going, wait a minute, I may have done these things, or I may have blamed others for that, but now I see the dynamic of how my behavior or my belief systems have contributed to the expression of this particular energy. And that's really kind of the focus for you coming up. And this is really a significant grouping of planets, because Pluto has been affecting us since it went into Capricorn in 2007. And now we have not just Pluto, but we have Saturn, which is very significant to the culmination of the story around Pluto. And really, like, whatever the chaos we went through back then, that was a wake-up call for us. For everybody. It was like, okay, there are things going on in your world that are not in your best interest. And while it may not be comfortable emotionally, because obviously Capricorn is opposite Cancer, which is the emotion and feeling like I need security, that upheaval with Capricorn was actually roto-rootering, renovating the storyline and the physicality of how we go about our lives. And I look back on my life back then, and I was unhappy. I was in a marriage I wasn't happy in, and that the dynamic of the marriage in the house that I lived in, it was part of the whole shift with what happened with banking and housing, and that changed my life. I'm in a completely different place now than I was when that happened. So as Saturn gets closer to Pluto, it's kind of like we're little by little saying, okay, I'm not going to be a victim of things that are external anymore. And that's a big fear for Capricorn is, what can I not control? Oh, I've got to control it, because what if something happens to me I can't control? So that's really at the core psyche of Capricorn. So as you see this energy in your chart, it's really strongly affecting you, because you have all that Capricorn in your first house in sense of self, and then into money. But as these planets move into your second house, I really do believe that the money situation is going to completely shift and start to cooperate. Like if you've had difficulty with money in the last, even since Pluto went into Capricorn, now that Saturn's there, Saturn's in its own sign. Right now it's triggering your Mars. It's trining to your Mars. So it's actually asking you to consider doing the job of working in get it out. Teaching, training, learning, any of that. Because your Mars is in Virgo, which is the teacher, in the house of Sagittarius, which is education and learning. And then you've got a Sagittarius rising and a Neptune in Sagittarius, which is, again, that same energy. So now Saturn's saying, okay, you've had your time thinking about or trying to act on making your dreams true. Now it's time to physically get on it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hear people say that all the time. Does that make sense? It drives me nuts, but I say it too. In other words, does it resonate to you?
Yeah.
It's like, so no, it makes no sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, because I was seeing that. So my Pluto is going to be in my second house really soon, right?
At 22 degrees, let me look at the ephemeris and see. It's going to be 22 degrees and 31 minutes. And we have a retrograde of Pluto, though, before it gets to 22. It literally retrogrades at 21:16. So it doesn't quite get into that house until I'm thinking probably next year. Yeah, it's only at 20 by the end of this year. So I can try and look it up for you here. Let me see. What did I say? 22:31. So I need the Jeopardy music playing in the background. Da, 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 da. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You can be my music. So 22 2231 is January of 2020. So it literally is still in your first house for almost 2 full years. Just at that silly 2 degrees. Yeah, isn't that crazy? But that's how slow it moves. I mean, it just creeps through the zodiac, which is why we have generations of people with Pluto in the same sign, Neptune in the same sign, and they're just really slow moving. So, and that's also why it's significant to have Uranus move out of a sign, because it takes 8 years to get out of its sign. So this is a major shift since Pluto went into Capricorn. It's going to be another significant shift into a new sign and an Earth sign as well. So I guarantee you this will be a significant year for people. And also for you, Uranus is on your Venus. And it's at the end degrees of your house of home and family, which means that you're wrapping up the story around your independence and your desire to go off and do what you really want to do for yourself. It's been a story, like I said, for 8 years since Uranus went into Aries. But when it went in, you probably felt like, okay, now I'm ready to begin my new story in a home of my own, or some semblance of like, now it's about me in the home. Now it is still about you, but we're going to the next phase, and next phase is children, like focusing on the childlike nature, on how you can do things differently around that energy, the Leo energy, the connectedness to other people, friendships. You're going to focus on more creativity and maybe even earning money from the creative endeavors, because that's what Taurus in your house of creativity, it's about like retail or crafting or I'm just combining Leo and Taurus, and basically it's money. It could be gambling of some sort, and that just may mean risk-taking around money endeavors. But do playful money, play with money, and play with ways of making money, play with ways of being creative around tangible goods or beauty or artistic endeavors or any of those things I said early on in the show. So, yeah.
I would love that. That's my whole thing is I'm
is it?
Trying to, well, I'm
awesome.
trying to make money from making films, doing fun,
right.
what I love to do, creating and making films.
Right.
And for some reason, it's just been so hard to just do. I don't know. It's just like, ugh.
I remember. Yeah. Part of it, but Jupiter, which is expansion and fortune, is coming up on Uranus in your 12th, and the 12th house is Pisces. The Pisces rules film and make. Mars is there now. Mars is saying, come on, get it done, get it done. Jupiter, later on it's going to happen. You're waiting for Jupiter to match up with Uranus in your 12th, and that's the independent filmmaker. I forgot you were the filmmaker. That's the independent filmmaker is Uranus in the 12th in Scorpio. Yeah, deep, passionate things that you want to let other people know. And then you have Neptune in the house of communications on your sun, and right just past sun, right like 2 degrees past Mercury for you, which is expression. Of course, Neptune goes to this summer, and so then he's going to get closer again to your Mercury. So that's going back over something that's important to this project and expressing it again. So that's all of June, July, August energy. Okay.
So it's not like the summertime is when it's a good time for it.
That's when, that's like, there's something about this I have to go back and figure out. And it's a process. And honestly, it's about coming in from spirit. So you're going to go back over the intuition, again, Pisces, it's coming in from spirit. It's just connectedness to the other side, highly intuitive. And so the information is either there was something you forgot, which Pisces very much is about. Like, if you don't catch it and write it down, it's gone. So there may be something about the project that you let go and you didn't realize it. So when Neptune is retrograde, those months, June, July, August, that's the time to grab it back. Okay? So it'll come back to you because it's retrograde. So that means that information is there for you again. But it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. I'm not lying. It's coming.
Really? I'm just myself, because I don't even have the momentum anymore. Like, I would love to meet someone to kind of like play with me to do this, or to either give me the money so I can have the momentum. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm just like, what the hell am I doing?
Have you done any of the funding sites? GoFundMe or Kickstarter or anything?
I didn't do the Kickstarter or GoFundMe just yet, but I have applied for some other grants, and I'm going to apply for more now.
Well, try it out, because, if you've already got this much going on it, you could probably make an intro video and, get contributions.
Yeah.
No shame in having people help fund you if they're interested in what you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's true, and I know it's out there. I know the money's out there, but I think I just have to get the momentum back in. It's so true what you were saying about looking at how my approach to life. I actually have been doing that, like, and realizing that, like, it's not necessarily the things in my life that have been happening that have been making me, like, not as happy. Because if I look back to the times when I was happier, it wasn't necessarily anything, like, crazy going on. It was just my approach to life. I was excited, inspired, and that kind of thing,
Yeah, I totally know. But I can. Saturn energy was in Sagittarius for a while in your 12th house, and that probably also made you more introspective, even though Sagittarius is very outgoing. In the first house, and Saturn was conjunct your Neptune. Also when you kind of started some of this, probably because Neptune rules film. Having Saturn move into Capricorn, it brings you down to earth. It does. It's like, oh, it was so fun and so playful, and now it's just, really, now I'm back down to earth. But Mars is moving into Sagittarius, So that you got that to look forward to. And he's going to go really fast. So you want to really take advantage of his energy. He goes into Sagittarius on the 27th of January. He gets into 15 degrees by the 21st of February, which is when he goes into your first house. So when he gets into your first house, let's see, I'm just looking for the date. March 5th, he will be right on your Neptune. So between like late February and the first week of March, you're going to have a lot of energy to go and do it, because that's air, that's fire, and it's on your Neptune. So that's when you're probably going to make another really strong push towards this.
Okay.
And then he goes into Capricorn, and then again he gets back earthbound. But Jupiter will be in Sagittarius all of next year. And so the middle of next year is going to be really good also for this. So like, it's not over. It's just going with the rhythms of the universe and pausing for different reasons. Okay. But you will have a push at the end in February and March. So take advantage of it, because Mars, he takes 2 years to go through all the signs. So when he comes around and gets right on your Neptune, man, that's the time to make those dreams happen.
Yeah. I'm going to take advantage of it for sure.
Yeah. And he'll be joining up with Saturn too this year, so that'll be awesome. Let me see when he's right with Saturn in the first week of April, on the April 2nd, right on April Fool's, near April Fool's Day. He'll be joined with Saturn. So that's like, make those dreams happen, make it happen. It's you, it's your career. You'll do it. Don't worry about it. It's coming. Okay.
Really? Okay.
It is.
I trust you.
Be patient. Jupiter's coming up on Uranus, and that's some pretty potent stuff too, especially in the 12th house. Jupiter is the energy of self-interest, and in the 12th house, it's like you're interested in getting your stuff done, but you're interested in doing it with the help of intuition and spirituality and all that. And then, you've got to listen to the deeper side. And of course, Jupiter doesn't want to listen to anything like that. They just want to go and get it done. But it's in Scorpio until November. So you're just going to have to listen to your intuition and say, okay, what is Spirit trying to tell me? And I can tell you, when you start resisting things, look at where you're resisting it, because that's probably something that it can very be to your benefit, but you're just not acknowledging, like you want it to go a certain way. When you start to resist, usually it's ego. And the ego says, no, I don't want it to do like that. That's not what I want. Or it's fear. It's either the ego being, arrogant or being fearful. So when you have the blocks, look to the ego. Always, always, always. I mean, I forget it, but I know it to be true. Because when you're listening to Spirit will open up your path and things will flow easily. When you're not listening to Spirit, you're going to end up fighting. Okay? So sometimes we have to slow down and let things develop. And you're kind of in that for another few weeks. Okay?
Yeah, I think that's right. But I also think, too, and I don't know, I would be interested to hear your opinion of it. I guess to your point, I feel like a lot of it is definitely self-inflicted, and it almost feels like it's like I know that I have this gem, but it's like it almost feels like a little bit of laziness. Like it's like I put everything into it. Here I go, and now it's like, okay, I have 3 weeks. I'm home, recuperating.
Mars is in the 12th house.
Working on this, and yet
stop.
You're not.
Stop. First off, Uranus is in your house of home and family, so that's going to kind of slow down there. And then you've got Mars. Mars is in the 12th house. It's about taking action in sleep. It wants you to sleep. You're not going to have any, Virgo, the opposite.
Okay, because that's all I want to do.
Stop it. Yeah, just sleep. That's what your chart, the universe, the alignment of the stars is saying sleep. Because not only recuperating, you're also Mars on your Uranus. You are getting ideas. You're getting a download from the other side. You are working. You're just working the easy way by sleeping and by getting the information. People, I'm telling you, Neptune in Pisces right now, and eventually Pluto going through Pisces. Pluto has still the time in Aquarius, but by the time he gets to Pisces, when Pluto gets in Pisces, we're going to work a lot less, and we're going to listen to the easier way of doing it a lot more. And as long as you have Mars in your 12th house, listen to what it's telling you. Slow down. Take care of yourself. Chill. Keep a journal by your bed and write down what's going on in spirit. I'm telling you, it's not less real. It's actually more if you just acknowledge it. And you've got so much energy from that with the Pisces Sun and Pisces Mercury and Uranus in the 12th. You've got to respect it. Respect the Pisces. Okay?
Yeah. No,
anyway.
You're so right.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. You're so right. I just felt
You're
really
welcome.
guilty. Like, you're supposed to be doing things. You have all this time to do.
No, that's your Virgo. Your Mars in Virgo is the guilt-ridden one. Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, well, it's good talking to you, Kay. I'll talk to you again soon.
You're
okay?
a lifesaver. You really are. I appreciate it.
Don't worry. Please listen to this again in archive because I can tell you're going to want to because there's stuff there. You might want to write down dates, but write down the information and listen to it again.
Oh,
okay?
I always do. I always go back.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Get better.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Okay, let's do 561. Hi, 561. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hi.
Hi, sis.
This is Stacy.
Stacy, gotcha. What can I do for you today, Stacy?
I want to know, well, just tell me what you see, because my mind is not right. It's going a million miles a minute.
Oh, my gosh. Well, you've got, you're just 3 degrees west of Mars return, and so that puts Jupiter on your Mars now because they're conjunct. So Mars is running up on your Venus, and Jupiter's on Mars. So you got all that Scorpio energy going on in the last degrees of your house of career. So that's the midheaven, the 10th house. So it is the culmination of a story around career and a passion, but it's inspiration. Jupiter on your Mars, and Mars return, first off, is going to give you the sense that you're in your own energy and you're in a place of stronger power, and the drive that you come up with in your natural way of being is enhanced. So you're like, basically, if you feel like you want to go do something, the universe is cooperating with that. Jupiter is the planet of fortune, and he's saying, don't worry about it, trust with it, go with it. And he's in Scorpio, so it's about passion. It's about going for your passion, especially in your career, and transformation. That you've done all you need to do in that career, and now you're moving into an area where talking to other people, very specifically because you have Venus, which is desire and femininity and receptivity, and then you have Sagittarius Mercury and Neptune. So Mercury is about thinking and playfulness in Sagittarius. And then you're going with Mars into Neptune. And Mars on Neptune is going to be also even stronger receptivity, but learning and making it come true. So, yeah, I mean, you've just got a ton of stuff coming in for you that is all about making your dream come true and finding people who are more cooperative. You may find you've got Vesta right now on Mercury, someone in your soul group who is not really cooperative, but still coming in, and it is going to work. It's just Vesta just went into Sagittarius, I think today. I was looking yesterday, and I think it was in Capricorn. But anyway, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. And then, I mean, just really to synopsize, because you got so many planets in Capricorn today, half of them are in your 12th house and half of them are in your first. So the ones in your 12th house are, the Saturn just went in December, so you were feeling that on your sense of self and what are you going to do and shift and change, and now it's more gentle. So it's in the 12th house. It can be, again, people from the past, old jobs, old situations. You might be thinking about, maybe I should check back with someone. If you're not thinking about checking back with someone, that is a potential if you want to use it.
Actually, I did that this morning.
There you go. So you're in perfect harmony with what I'm telling you and what the answer wants you to know. Yeah. Going back to the past.
I need something to do, so I'm getting,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then let's see here. Mercury will be on your Jupiter and then go into the first house. So definitely, are you looking for a job? I don't know if you said that. That's just what your chart looks like to me. Yeah, your chart looks like you're looking for work, and Mercury is always, I've noticed, where you want to look for hearing back from something about a job, because Mercury is the the word I'm looking for. It's something. It's transcribing, for lack of a better word. It's giving you the information. Like, hey, I've got it here, and I'm going to give it to you. It's imparting the information.
Okay.
I apologize. My throat's a little congested. Yeah, so right now Mercury's in your 12th house at 7 degrees, but he needs to get to 14, and he gets to 14 degrees on the 21st. And that's also the day Sun goes into Aquarius, which is also in your first house. So that's a time of talking to people, making connections, hearing from a networked source. So, yeah, people, friendships, business friends, business networking, all that's going to happen. And so look for like next week. Yeah, about a week away. And so, yeah, I think you're definitely making good connections. If you've talked to someone today, quite honestly could be the thing, because Mercury's on Saturn. It's like, yep, ownership. And in the 12th, which is, if that is someone from the past, I think there's going to be a line on something from that. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm just looking if there's any other indicators. You are in the transition time. You are shifting from one type of work to another. And quite honestly, Jupiter coming up on your Neptune over at the end of this year, really the beginning of next year, you're going to be coming right into exactly what you want to be doing. And I don't know if that's travel far away. You have potential next year, early next year, like January, a year from now, for being in another place, another country, someplace farther away, or training, or, I definitely see an opportunity to move away if you want for your career, but it's your dreams coming true. And definitely pay attention to that. Okay?
Okay.
So, love you, and Happy New Year.
Thanks. Same to you. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, you take care. Good talking to you.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay, that's the show for this week, and thanks for those who waited in the queue, and I'm sorry I didn't get to you this week, but call in early next week, and we'll see you again next week. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.